Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. Wasn't really planning on streaming tonight after streaming earlier that I wasn't planning on doing, but thinking about Diablo, yes, another project. Um, there were some elements of Diablo that I really, really liked, and there were some elements of Diablo that I really didn't like. And figure, you know what? Let's see what it can be if we try to build kind of a tribute to Diablo with Unreal Engine 4 using all City Studios assets, the Polygon series. And all I've done here is I have my simple multiplayer Steam template. I've created a clone of it and temporarily calling it Diablo. It won't stay that name. But I've started adding in some asset packs, and the fun begins when you start combining asset packs and characters. The one that we're going to have the problem with is going to be in Fantasy Rivals. It's a minor problem, and we'll show the workaround on that in just a few moments. But I'm just starting off. I haven't done really anything but copy in 4 asset packs so far. I'll probably add in a couple more. Yes, I've got Pirates, Knights, Fantasy Rivals, and Fantasy Characters. Not the modular one. I like it. I really do. But I think for this project, I don't think it would be necessarily a great fit. But if I was going to make my own game, separate game, I think I probably would use it. It is a really good asset pack. I haven't done a good video on it yet, and I should, and I will. But let's just go with what we got here. So, content. The first step I'm going to do is go to my characters folder, and I'm going to go ahead and start making some new folders. And we need one called Mesh, and we're going to need another one called Animations. In here, we're going to be doing a sample one of Unarmed, and this is where we're going to do our starting animation system. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the fact that I've got 4 different asset packs, but I only want one skeletal rig that will cover for all of the assets. No matter which asset pack I put in here, I can just reassign the skeletal mesh to use a skeleton that I'm going to use. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the fantasy characters and go to my characters. And we see we've got a few characters in here that I'm sure are going to be quite useful for what we're doing. But I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the skeleton. I'm going to look at it first, and oh, god damn it, I hate you on Unreal Engine sometimes. Edit, editor preferences. Please, if you know a better way for making this actually stay, I've tried set as default and all this other crap to try to get this to stay. Main window. Loading and saving, disable autosave. I have to do that every time I open a new project. If there's a better way of going about doing this, I would sure like it. First off, I'm just going to go ahead and apply to asset because we need a preview mesh with the skeleton. And I'm going to look at the retargeting manager, and it is already set to humanoid. That's good, so we can hit save and close that. I'm going to look at all of them really quickly before I start doing what I'm doing. I'm going to go to Fantasy Rivals. I'm going to go to Meshes and Characters. This is the one we're going to have the issues with. We have a set of lower arms. There's 2 different types. We're not going to use them because one of the characters does have 4 arms. And you don't have to use them. There's also a set of Medusa snakes. We may or may not use them. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it. But as you can see, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different skeletons. We're going to ignore the ones for the arms. So these 2, we can ignore those. Now, the barbarian and all these big characters are on the top row. And these 2 right here. These are going to be the ones that are going to be a problem in generic retargeting. So we're going to ignore those for the time being. We'll have to do them separately. we'll do the same process, but we'll do them separately. So we're only worried about these across here, and the spirit demon. We're only worried about those meshes for now. So we need this skeleton. We'll take a look at this one. We'll ensure that it's using humanoid. One of the packs, I remember, let's go ahead and apply to asset, did not have humanoid rig selected. It is not a problem, but I'm just checking to make sure. Then we'll look at knights, meshes, characters, and then you have, for some reason, they left characters and they left characters updated rig. We're going to ignore this folder right here, the characters. In fact, we don't need it at all. You can delete that folder right there and only use the updated rig folder. And we're only going to have a small handful of these guys. And this skeletal mesh right here, it's already got that applied. That's fine. It's already humanoid rig, and that's fine. So if you're using the Knights pack and you've got a characters folder and a characters updated rig, use the ones from characters updated rig. These work fine. The other ones do not. And of course, my favorite asset pack of all time, Pirates. I love it. There is a reason why I'm using this one in this, even though, well, Pirates, you know, whatever. Go into creatures. We're not going to use these right now, but one of the things I really love about this asset pack is a frickin' shark. And the fish are cool too. But we'll go to people. Got a bunch in here. And now here's where it does kind of get annoying, is there's Captain and Captain Bear. So you got one with and without the sword on the side. We're only going to use the bear ones. So we're only going to use half of what you see here. You have double for each one. It's really unnecessary. But we'll look at the skeleton here. It's already applied and it's humanoid. So that's fine. So I'm just going to pick one skeleton, and since this one's on top, I'm just going to use the fantasy characters. I'm going to grab this skeleton, and I'm going to left click, drag it, drop it onto the mesh folder that I created, select copy here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rename it to sk underscore polygon. I'll use a different name for the other one, which is going to be for the big guys. So we have no preview mesh yet, so no worries on that. It's already set as a humanoid rig. That's fine. We just want to make sure those were set, and then we'll save and close it for now. Hey, what's up, brother? Here's where the fun begins. So I'm going to grab my skeletal meshes. This is retargeting 101, but for multiple asset packs in this realm. So we're making our Diablo tribute game. So with these selected, right click, go to skeleton, assign skeleton, and I'm going to tell it to use my, oh god, there's so many in here that I'm going to have to scroll. SK polygon, accept, scroll down, SK polygon, accept. You're going to have to do this for every swing and dick one of them. It's going to be annoying. We can actually go in after we do this one. I'll suffer through this one for right now. And I'm going to delete that other folder, the one that I mentioned that is a bad folder in the other asset pack. And that's going to prevent me from having to scroll down, because I only have to scroll down for one. It was only bad in that one asset pack, and I don't know why they kept it in there. So now we'll just go ahead and hit save all, save selected. Quickly go back to my new mesh, and I'm going to hit apply to asset so that we have a mesh associated with it. And then we're going to hit save. I'm going to go back down. We're done with that folder for now. And it was Polygon Knights. You go in here and delete the characters folder, because we're going to use the characters updated rig that came in that same asset pack. Yes, it was associated with the overview map, but we're not going to keep that anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one since I'm here. And I'm going to control left click on the meshes here and right click, assign skeleton, and now I don't have to scroll down. Except polygon. And now those are going to use the skeleton that I said for them to use. It's kind of a tribute. It won't be exact because I'm using Cinti assets, and I'm going to have to create some other new stuff. I'm going to be able to like rip sounds and stuff like that, but I guess you could say more of a reboot. You know, it's a tribute. Tribute, reboot, whatever. So I like the game. I really did. And I was actually playing it earlier. I've got from GOG. You can actually get a version that works. But if you want to be like me and while I'm eating, if I'm eating with one hand and playing with the other hand, just kind of goofing off, just killing time wise, I'll actually use one of the cheat trainers that I've had for a long time. But the trouble is, it doesn't work for modern versions of Windows, so you got to run compatibility mode for like Windows Vista. But I use a trainer on it, just put it in God mode and just kind of screw around. And the more I thought about it, it was like, you know, with the little issues. Yeah, Quake and Quake Arena, those were fun games. Those are classics. You know, yeah, there's lots of newer versions of games that are similar and that kind of stuff, but I don't know, just something about those games, they were more fun. Heretic, Hexen, Diablo, Warcraft 2. I mean, hell, that was couldn't tell you how many hours wasted playing Warcraft 2. Not World of Warcraft, but Warcraft 2. I didn't waste a lot of time with World of Warcraft 2, but alright, so with the fantasy rifles, we're not going to do the big dudes just yet. We're going to have to do them the same way we're going to do these, but we have to do them separate because of the meshes. If you don't, then when you select one of those characters, they're going to be folded in half. And I think the troll right here and the slayer, those two may be part of that. I will test them, and I will just deal with it as I need to. So rivals is done. Forsaken, I remember the name, but I don't remember playing it. This is going to be fun. I have to select one. I'm not doing both of these. There's no reason to do the English Captain and English Captain Bear, because I'd rather have the Bear one, and if there's anything attached to him, I want to attach it to him. So thankfully they're all on the right hand side for the Bear versions. It's going to save me some time in my method of resetting the skeletons. But half the reason for having this asset pack even in this project is these three right here, the frickin' skeletons. And I also figured the pirate first mate kind of looks like Griswold from Diablo, or Blacksmith. So we'll just go ahead and assign skeleton. Well, see, that's the thing is I'm going to develop it. See, this is it's got an extra little thing in there, so that's no problem. That's going to piss me off. God damn it, Cinti, I love you guys, but why do you do that dumb shit? Have a bone specifically for each one. Come on. I fuss at them all the time about their naming conventions on some of their stuff on their skeletal rigs, and this is going to be one of them. This is a complete waste to have each of these characters have their own specific bone name. Character female 101. Why would you have a bone named that? I know what it is. It's the location for a pouch or something like that. It's total waste, and I'll end up having to go back in there. Well, we'll have to ignore it. But But yeah, the joy of doing with Unreal Engine 4 is if you decide you want to make it for mobile, or if you want to make it for uh, consoles. Why do you want to play on a console? I don't understand, but hell, Nintendo Switch or whatever. I mean, you have the availability of porting it over to them really relatively easy. The hardest part for converting it is mostly in the controls, because the Cindy Studios assets are going to be low enough impact to where they're not going to be taxing on most systems, depending on a few things. I've had some people complain that when playing projects that were put together, yeah, I've got it for Unity, but I don't have Unity. So I got it just to kind of poke around and take a look at it. And there's a utility you can get to actually convert. I just haven't done it. They will be bringing it out soon enough for UE4, and as soon as they do, I'll have a full review on it and kind of play around. I don't. I'm getting old. I don't remember if I really did anything on the modular fantasy characters or not. But I have played around with it and set up characters and so forth, and set up how they actually work, and created my own blueprint structure for it. Just so I could kind of come up with a way of creating a single modular character, and then being able to change aspects of it on the fly and things like that. So I started doing my own blueprint structure for it. Alright, so now if we look at our skeleton, we still got our preview mesh of our female druid, but now I should be able to select any of these characters, like the dark elf. Now, one thing that I will say is when you're doing this, sometimes the dark elf, I don't know if he's supposed to be purple, but it won't always change and this won't always change the material over. But we're going to go with my favorite of all the characters. Actually, now let's go with we'll try to find one, and it doesn't really matter here, because I'm just kind of killing time. Could be anything. Screw it, we're just going to leave him in there. We could have left the original female. It doesn't matter what the mesh is. We're already set to humanoid rig. We're all good to go. And of course, the usual with the UE4 mannequin. We've got to do our usual treatment. Howdy. Select humanoid rig, and then our usual up 50, lower arm, down 10, back 30, and hand up 10. Yeah, this is the usual, not spine, jackass. Once this is actually done, it won't take long to start actually creating the map portion. Did I go down 10? Damn it, I'm getting old. Yeah, modify pose, that looked right. Use current pose. Save, close, animation, F2, Control C, right click. Now, okay, polygon, we're good to go. We're going to replace that with unarmed AVP, change their location, character, animations, unarmed, okay, target, and done. So now with our primary character, let's actually go ahead and load up a map, and let's go to the lobby map for now. And let's go ahead and take a look at our character. And blueprints, player base, viewport, mesh. We know we're going to have to fix the camera here in just a minute. Now I can pick whatever I want. Soldier. Now here's where I want to kind of pick one that, and I can experiment also, see if any of them are going to be broken, that I have selected. Could be the shark. I want to be my skeleton. See, here's the other thing here is we have this and then the bear. We did not use this one. We did this one. Because now I can actually go over here and do unarmed animation blueprint, and they're going to move around. Yes, I'll fix the camera in just a second. But we want our universal character. We're going to start off with the warrior first, and then we'll actually put in the other classes later. But we need one that will look like or similar to the warrior. It's definitely not it. That could be Wirt when he grows up. Got a peg leg. I know, that's terrible. Blackbeard, we know that's not going to work. Mystic, no. Use our mage. Rogue, so we can actually have a male rogue instead of just female only. Male peasant. I honestly think that's a better way to go for our main character, being the peasant. Instead of being a full-blown warrior. Maybe later on we can, as we change our armor, we can change our appearance. But let's start with homeboy here. And let's go ahead and fix this camera. Change our rotation. So this is like the very, very bare beginnings here. Next thing I'm going to do is actually start on, once we actually have a character now. Uncheck my snapping. Line it up. Compost. Save. Go back to real time, and now we are good to go. So if we hit play, we now have a character. Yay. And there was much rejoicing. We'll give him a sword and shield here in just a minute, but I don't have the animations in here just yet. I may change them out later. I'm not 100% that this is our guy. So start taking a look at assets and knights. Let's look at the map for knights. Just as something to look at really quickly. And then we'll actually start laying out our town. The center of town is going to be the water fountain, because that's where you're going back and forth to Cain and talking to him, and that's like the thing. All right, so this doesn't really have the interior of that castle or this one or anything laid out. This one does. Just want to make sure that the gate was open so we can actually get it in town. And we'll go to our world settings, third person game mode, and we'll just play. Alright, so no, we're not going to use this map. We'll make our own. But the good thing about it is the maps are flat as a pancake. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll start off with the well being in like dead square in the center of the map, and then we'll build out from there. But I just want to show what the overall feel is going to look like. We've got this pathway here. I'll probably just do a simple hand-drawn path. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I don't know what's up with the material on there. Remember correctly. Well, we can just do this. So we have a lot of pieces and stuff that we can actually put in there. Let's do play from here. A statue. Well, I should start picking through these assets really quickly. I think the one in Pirates should be good enough. The water fountain. Even though the one in Diablo is a really simple plain one, I don't know if I have one that's that plain. I was hoping there was one in here. Alright, so it's actually, I just wanted to have a map open so we could look at some of the stuff. Meshes. So with that, there's a lot of building pieces. The ones that we're probably going to be using most of, like for in like the dungeon areas, we'll worry about that when we work on the dungeon maps. Then you have like the catacombs and you have other stuff too, but I may actually have to bring in some other asset packs. Ah, right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and create our first map, and I'm going to go ahead and go to new level, default. Yeah, save selected, I don't care. That's just, I changed the game mode. So the first thing I'm going to do is delete you and delete you. We're going to go to creating a basic landscape. We damn sure don't need that much room. I don't know, the 2x2. That may be big enough. Because I mean, you think the town map is not really that big. But I'm going to go ahead and make it 3x3 just to be on the safe side. And that's good enough. I just need to change this to 0. I hate whenever it does that. Scaling, that's all fine. And create. So now if we go back here and hit play, asshole. Third person game mode, hit play. So yeah, that's more than enough room for us to be able to build town. And this is like 0, location right here. Simple terrain material would be next, but let's go ahead, and we know that for now I'll leave this as my well for the center of town. Start stamping back on, and we'll do 0, 0, and 0, and just move our player for right now. Alright, this is where Kane will stand, the center of town. Alright, so we just need a terrain material. It's going to be simple, since my simple multiplayer team template comes with materials. We're going to go ahead and create material. Yeah, that's what we're creating. And we're going to call this our terrain _M. I'm going to open that, and then I'm going to minimize it back down. Go to my textures, and we want grass. I think that's going to be good enough for our dirt. And I'm just going to drag both of those in here. This material will change later. This will just get us started. And then we need layer blend. Actually, let's type it in as well, shit. Layer blend. That was a terrain layer blend. Landscape layer blend. Duh. We'll put that there, and then move these over. This, we need 2 elements. First one is going to be called grass. Always the first one, which your primary, is going to be the very first one. And then this guy here is just going to be called dirt. I mean, we don't have anything else besides that, except for maybe when we're putting in the stream, we might put some rocky shit in there or whatever. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it. But for now, we'll just put like dirt underneath there. So that will go into there, and we'll save that. So now we have our basics for our landscape blend. Good enough to get the job done. So now we go back over here to our landscape, and landscape material, we just need to go back to here. Where's my landscape blend? Alright, I know I'm blind as shit, but... terrain material. Now, you can see it looks black right now, and it will be black. So as soon as we do this, it's going to be black. It's going to screw everything up. Oh no, it's terrible. I'm just going to go to Paint. I'm going to go to here, Create Layer Info. And first option there. We're also going to go here, and OK. And that'll be fixed. It'll take a moment, but there we go. Turned green. So now, let's decrease our brush size. We'll paint a little bit of dirt around the well. You know, it's going to take a minute because it's still getting all its collective shit together here. Orange Crush. Oh, well, never mind, because I was on grass still. Duh. I blame you guys. You let me do it. So we're just going to paint a little bit of dirt around here. And there we go. I may actually go with the darker one later, but because this looks more like sand than it does dirt. Hey, I never said I was smart. I'm old. I forget shit all the damn time. So there's our initial startings, and I'll just drag this down here. Make this about 25. I don't know. 250. Nope. Let's make it. This material is going to look like crap for right now. Just do a quick. Not that it's ever quick. Let's do a save all. So we can save the map itself because we don't have it saved yet. Go to our maps folder, and we're going to call this Town. Then we can do build. And this is going to take a couple seconds to do the build. Pulling on everybody else's brains here of, you know, the layout of town. I played like a little bit like an hour or so ago when we were doing the other stream. But, the layout of town, things will change about 1,000 times just creating the town area itself. But we wanted to get the central point started where we actually have the well. That is like the center of everything. That's where Kane's going to stand. That's we know that we have the blacksmith that's going to be to our right. Just above that, you're going to have the tavern. Then to the left and above where the well is where Pepin's going to stand. Then there's a building just below there, just southwest of the fountain, where there's a building there, and then you got the the town drunk, whatever his name is. I keep forgetting his name. And then you got so we can actually save all and then hit play. Adria the witch. You've got Wirt with his little peg leg. And then you got the girl, the innkeeper. And we're gonna have to add water into the well because technically speaking, there's a center portion of the well which we don't have represented here. Let's see. Was the water in this folder? No. Let's environment. Usually they have the well water as a separate static mesh. Got grass tiles there. It's a statue and statue base. There's a cart, a simple dagger. Now there's not many weapons in this particular pack for some reason, but that's not a problem. We've got other packs in here. Got weapons right there. You just got a shield. I mean a sword, like 4 shields. Zweilander. a rapier, and a halberd. So that's just very limited weapons, but we have plenty of weapons. We're not going to be shy on swords and such, and even bows and crossbows, because I can bring in, because Cinti had that free asset pack with the bows and crossbows. Worst case scenario, I'll bring in the Western Frontier just for those, but we'll see. I don't think there's going to be any buildings in here that are going to be suitable for our town. These aren't bad. I may pop one or two down just to kind of take a look at them. Then I'll probably take them right back up again. That's our village well. Just kind of hoping that we have the water. So, I'm just going to pop a building down. We'll take a look at it. That's not gonna do what I want. It's not bad. Yeah, I don't think these are gonna work. Let's look at pirates. Then if I need to, I'll bring in some other asset packs. I mean, I've got more. Meshes, buildings. There should be something we can use in here. Like I said, if not, then I will resort to pulling in others. That's the bar. We don't want that one. Yeah, I don't think any of these 4 asset packs are going to have what I want. Alright, so which asset pack should we pull from next? So we need our buildings. We got to have our town. I mean, these are okay, but not what I'm envisioning. So we got fantasy characters, fantasy rivals, knights, and pirates. Let's see here. In this folder, we got samurai, maybe Vikings. I'm pretty sure Vikings has what we need. Yeah, it's going to take me a second to extract this one. Okay, Vikings. Holy crap. What have you done, Cinti? A lot of the assets I've got are directly from their store. Polygon Vikings pack, Unreal Project 414, and then we have Vikings. They're doubled up. There's 2 of each one's in here. Let's see, 619. Crap, and they were both compiled at the same time. How? Same date, same time. So I don't know which one's the correct one. So we'll just try this one. I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't know why, but I have backups of every revision they've had for quite a while. Alright, so that's Vikings. There. Of course, we're going to have to add the characters in. Goody, you have characters and characters updated rig. Damn it. There we go. See, thankfully, doing these won't be a problem, but I have a sneaky feeling that we can go ahead and get rid of the characters folder and just use the characters updated rig. Forced delete. Thank you. Go away. Sorry, this is like going backwards dealing with these characters, but there's only a handful. Right click, skeleton, assign skeleton. Since we've already got this done, all I got to do is just keep adding more onto this, and they're all going to work. So if I want to change my character to the Viking character now, it's not going to be a problem with my player character the way I've got it built now. Easy enough. Okay, so let's get back to what we're doing here. Not environments, we want buildings. We got two different versions, regular and snow covered. Well, we'll just worry about regular for now. Where is our... There we go. Well, shit, I thought this had more buildings than that. Well, maybe not. I know dungeons won't have it. Push comes to shove, I can actually just put things in here as placeholders and then replace them as I come up with the right asset pack that has what I'm looking for. But quickly look, we got a bunch more shields here and some melee weapons, axes, spears, sword, blacksmith tong, saw. We have other weapons we can use now at least. No, I don't want to delete that. I want to delete that. And plus we have Viking ships too we can play with, but props. There's even more shields. They're decorative shields, but there's some skulls. Yeah, I sure thought Vikings was going to have what I needed, but... Nope. Snow-covered environmental stuff. Yeah, not going to have what I need. You got like log cabins and stuff, but just not what I'm looking for. Gonna have another quick peek at my assets. Samurai and Western Frontier, Western. Those aren't going to do it. Battle Royale. Nature Pack. Got, oh, so many asset packs. I'm sure at some point I'm going to be bringing in the Dungeons pack as well. You know, we'll just make do with what we got for now. Knights buildings. Yeah, well, just these are way too small. They're not exactly what I need, and there's just windows. This is not what I want. I mean, technically speaking, I could rescale them. You know, it's easy enough. I mean, hell, I can sit here and just do like that, but that's just too big. I mean, I could scale it to whatever I want, but I'm just going to make do with what we got. Yeah, I'll have to see what other assets I've got and what are the buildings I can pull in and that kind of stuff. And I'll upgrade it from there. But let's go ahead and get the basics done. And yeah, I don't like doing close enough, but we got enough pieces right here. We can set up the basics for the church and things like that. So the basic layout of town is there, another building there, and again these are just going to be placeholders. You have the tavern, blacksmith, and the path went this way and up. You had and they weren't really symmetrical. You know me, I love symmetry. You had another one about right there. Then you had the drunk here, and then you pretty much had rocks that covered over this entire area here. So what I may end up doing is just grabbing everything and moving it over so that we can kind of trim this down as we need to. And since you know how I've got to have everything organized, create folder, map, shit. Grab all that, throw it in there. And now if I need to, I can just grab these and I can just slide everything over at one time. And then worry about drawing in my pathways and stuff like that. Right now I just want to get a general feel for the layout of town. Environments, instead of just doing this simple rocky bed, 400,000 rocks. That cliff, I'm sure there's other cliffs here. Viking environment. Something we could just lay out as a block for our player, since that's what those rocks were in the original game. So instead of putting 400,000 freaking rocks down, that just would be tacky as crap. And that will be too much. You don't need to have all those rocks in there. The way that they were rendered in, they were done as 2D sprites. They weren't really a 3D element. We're building a 3D environment here, so everything we put in here is going to become an actor of some sort. And we want to keep our actor count relatively low. Come back to those if we need to. Well, I'm going to start from the bottom again. And Vikings we just looked at. Pirates, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have the... well, there are some things we can put in for a background scenery, but I got something else I want to use for the background. I has a plan for that. I don't necessarily want to put the rocks down, you know, even the large rocks. No, we don't want that. Could have looked at that and known that it was too small. And knights. Just want something like the cliff to go alongside. You got like the canal sections here. Now, there are canal sections. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to use them as canals. Yeah, I'm not gonna use that. These. Well, what I can do is, for now, so we can always put like that in the background, which that's cool. I mean, I like those. I may end up using that and that, But we'll worry about that when we get to it. We just need to create our boundary. So technically speaking, we could utilize something like that. Or that. And then just, for now, sink it into the ground a little bit. And stretch it. Because technically all we want is something as a boundary for our players. So let's just stretch it 3. Too much and it looks like crap. Probably not going to look great anyway. Once we do lighting builds, stuff like that, we could change the direction of the sun. Little things like that to improve the looks of the scene. So I'm just going to start with that over there. And you can actually take these and rotate them around. So you're getting different views of it. So it doesn't necessarily look identical. And offset them a little bit too. So, it adds a little bit of a change or a breakup to it. Change the elevation if you need to. Again, that's not going to be true to the original game, but it does act as a boundary, and it'll get reshaped and turned and whatnot. We're just trying to block off our player from getting too far out of the area of town. Okay, so that's awesome. Now, next thing we need to do is start looking at a couple NPCs, kind of get the feel for town, and once we get the NPCs built and that kind of stuff, we can kind of add functionality to them. But what I'll have to do is I'll probably have to play the game a little bit more to remember how the path was laid out, because I think the church would be like this area right here. I thought I had some rubble stuff too. Let's look in. Yeah, I'll sort through all the different asset packs that I've got, and I'm sure that I've got enough stuff to pull together to change the buildings to something that looks a little bit more appropriate. I know there's another asset pack that I'm forgetting that has what I need, but like I said, the church will be like in this vicinity over there. Look at buildings, dumbass. Look in the right place, you might find things. Alright, again, placeholder. I'm just going to shove. Now, I want. Alright, just a placeholder. About in this area right here is where the church is. You've got the canal that goes across here. What I'll do is I'll get a feel for how far it is from the buildings. There's actually going to be a couple more buildings over here. So I'm just going to grab these two. Because you've got like the inn building and superfluous buildings. I'll get a better feel. I'll play the game some more and get an idea of where the buildings actually are, the pathways and that kind of stuff. So your blacksmith, your tavern, your inn, Pepin will be over here. The drunk will be over here. There's actually another canal that goes, or stream that goes through here and has a branch that splits off, because you got Adria the witch that'll be over here. The farmer with the cows over here. Sarcophagus-based entrance right here going to the catacombs. You got the other entrance that's over here on the other side where Wirt is. So yeah, there's a lot of little things. But we just wanted to get the basics going and get started. Yeah, lots of screenshots because I am old and, I forget shit really quickly. I started to do that earlier, but I just kind of got tied up with doing things around the house. I'll look through the characters, see if I can come up with a better character for our main protagonist as the warrior. Because, I mean, there's some decent ones. I mean, I could use, like, this guy, but... in fact, let's actually open up our player character. And I'm going to go ahead and change the our player mesh. See, all I got to do is have my mesh selected, go to my viewport, ignore the camera. You know, it's just so that we can go into first-person view. If we wanted to use this guy, that doesn't really look like... I want it to be a lot closer to what the warrior character from the game. Fantasy characters will probably have what I'm looking for. Probably. Sorcerer, King. We already had the peasant selected, and this is the one that I just picked out. And I don't know, it's because the original player has more of a peasantish style look. This damn sure ain't it. I know that. Yankee Doodle went to town with got a feather in his hair here. Oh, I hate the lighting and the base lighting in Unreal Engine. The king, not really, because it's closer, but he's the king. He can't really be the king. I think for the rogue character, if we wanted to do a female, I mean, this is, well, she's got flowers in her hair, but, you know. Female witch, this could be Adria. That's actually a pretty good fit for Adria. I know who I want to be, but you don't want our player running around as the frickin' skeleton. I love that frickin' skeleton character. I'm sorry, just... What is this? That's female. Not saying we can't be female, but she had pretty good look. She's pretty good. Now, it's Vikings. Just not feeling it. What else we got here? The Fantasy Rivals is more towards... That's materials. We don't want materials, we want meshes, dummy. It's more towards our enemies. Dark Elf, Medusa, Mystic, Spirit Demon. I'll definitely make one of our good enemy characters. Gotta have our golem and stuff like that too. Nothing jumping out, chaw. Probably going to end up back with the male peasant we were already doing before. And this is the male rogue. I mean, hell, I could possibly use him. I'm going to go ahead and set him in there anyway. See, by combining all those asset packs together like that, I can quickly switch between characters. You add a shield and a sword, which I can do next. He's got some weird issues with his wrist. I'm gonna have to take a look at the skeletal rig on that. One last look. If I don't find anybody else I like better, then we'll just stick with this one. Not feeling it. Alright, well, we'll just stick with this one. My favorite character of all the freaking characters that Cindy created. That's my favorite. A skeleton. Gotta have them because that's going to be like one of the primaries. Alright, we're going to come back to our player character, and we just want to put a sword and shield and build the sockets for those really quickly. Look at the weapons. The short sword and a regular plain buckler type shield. Well, I'm going to end up, as soon as I finish doing this video here in just a few minutes, I'm going to go back and play the damn games. For at least about a half hour before I go to bed. Fantasy characters, items. So I'll just take a couple screenshots of town. I'll try to more closely recreate some of the material for the grass. Come up with the normals and stuff like that for it. But knights, weapons. Yeah, see, that's a broadsword. It'll do for now. But no, those are too nice of weapons. So we'll do Vikings. I know that they got wooden shields. We just need a plain shield. I guess this will work for a plain shield or a regular buckler. I don't think there's one in Pirates. Nah. We'll just stick with... for our plain shield will be that one with the red and black and the regular sword there. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go to my mesh and using him, applied asset, so we can see the one that we're actually doing here, and change this to use specific animation and idle, and let's pause our animation. So we're going to need the sword and shield. Okay, really quickly, shield location when he is the warrior. The sword is on his left hip where it should be. So you can reach across and grab, not reach around, but reach across and grab his sword from the left side of his body. And the shield, when it's stored, is it on his back? I don't frickin' remember. I'm gonna have to take a look. Let's see here. Sorry, I pulled up Google just to kind of look at. I'm sure if I looked, I'm sure somebody's created the models already for a lot of stuff in there, but I know that whenever you're walking around, his shield is in the left hand, sword's in the right hand, but I tend to remember whenever he's like in town when it's stored. Again, I'll have to come back to that. I will go ahead and do it in hand. He holds it in his hand. Okay, so left hand, let's go ahead and give him a shield. Skeleton, hand, L, right click, add socket, F2 to rename, off hand, and we want to find the shield that we want, which is going to be this one. Yeah, I know his sword goes on his left hip, and I just couldn't remember if the shield went to his back or what. Add preview asset. Well, hell. It's this one. Alright, so now try to make it look somewhat right. I'm just going to get it close. I'll worry about getting it pretty and perfect later. So that's that. And then, so I'm seeing some weird malformations of his wrist section right there. That's common whenever you're dealing with some of the retargeting issues. But that is a fixable thing. I'll just have to come back to it. Right hand, hand R. Need to add socket. F2. I call them this, spelled and capitalized a certain way because that's what I'm used to. So you do what you do you. I do what's easy enough for me. Sword, short sword, right there. And let's go ahead and start making it look semi-appropriate. Now, once we add in our combat animations, all this will change. Fortunately, the way he's going to be holding his sword right now, he's probably going to end up neutering himself. And yes, it is almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm starving. Alright, we'll pretty it up later. Hit save. Goes that. So now, if we were to add those to him, let's go to our player character. Blueprint. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go to my viewport, go to my mesh, and I'm going to add in a component of sword and shield. So I need to find those particular ones. They don't have to be the same ones. We'll try this for the sword, and we'll do add component, and we're going to actually change it to say sword. Actually, we're going to say main hand, parented socket, main hand. There we go. Compost and save. Go back to our mesh, select our shield, add component, static mesh, and we're going to call this off hand. And parented socket offhand. So now at least we have a sword and shield, so we actually look a little bit more appropriate. Next videos we'll do like the NPCs, we'll do our blacksmith, we'll do our NPCs around town as placeholders, getting them there. Do our, okay, we're in town, we don't need to have our weapon and shield out, so then I'll change the sword to being on his hip and shield can stay where it is. Maybe start adding in some animations. But here's one thing we did forget. Diablo is a top-down game. Not that I forgot, I just didn't do it. Oh, that's terrible. So, although I think it would be cool in this aspect, this isn't how Diablo is played. Diablo is a top-down game, so how hard is it going to be to change this over? Oh my god. Let's do... Well, screw it. I'm just going to do a build while we talk about it. Making this into a top-down game is going to take 2s of 3s of minutes. It's going to take minutes, like, you know, of conversion to go from a third-person or first-person adventure to a top-down. God, the work involved is going to be horrible. We did all this retargeting and everything to get all our characters to work. So when we do this, we can run around like this or hit V and go to first-person view and look around. And although this would be awesome for there's some terrible lighting on that. Awesome to play Diablo like this. That's not how Diablo is played. You guys let me sit here and do this all this far, and you didn't say, well, Diablo's a top-down game. How dare you? I blame every one of you for my mistake. As anybody should. So much easier to blame somebody else. You know how long it's going to take me to convert this to a damn top-down game? I mean, seriously. I mean... Let's see here. Selected game mode. Ooh, we'll come back to this. Top-down maps. Save. So, top-down control. I don't know why it wasn't working there. I'll figure that out in a little bit. So that's your basic top-down controls. Blueprint, top-down character. Viewport. Huh, looks like the same kind of character. Wait, third-person animation blueprint. So what would happen if we went to our male rogue character and did that? Huh. So there's our character. That's easy enough. So we're top-down game mode, top-down character. I'll change that also. Top-down controller. But there we go. And with Diablo, our character stops to do the animation, so it's going to be so much easier to do it that way. So do this, save all, save selected, go back to my maps. Temporarily, let's go to lobby map. If we hit play, we got our other character. I'm not going to change that. Let's go back to town. We're going to change this to top-down game mode. Top-down controller. I'm not sure why he's not moving. I'll have to look at that. Huh. I will figure that out, but it's not going to take a hell of a lot. Don't save, go away. Top-down character, top-down controller. This works just fine. There's got to be something else that I need to put into the map. Go to blueprints, open level per blueprint. Anything in here? Nothing. So let's try just doing a file, new level, VR basic, game mode, top-down controller, play, and see he's not moving there. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Oh, I know why. All right. Who can tell me why really quickly? Let's go ahead and do this right here. We're going to save this as a test map. I know exactly why. If you look at top-down example map, nav mesh bounds, because when you're using your top-down character, it's acting like AI. So yeah, nav mesh bounds is what's going to fix it. See, so if I go back to test map and go to volumes, nav mesh bounds, and yeah, I didn't think of that because, you know, at first I've done top-down games before, and I did actually Playground Western Frontier as a top-down, believe it or not. Let's go ahead and scale it up. Can't remember what it was. We'll just do 10 by 10 and play. Hey, look, we can walk now. Dumbass. Can't run into these very easily, but you still can. To interfere with the terrain, the objects in the terrain. So yeah, we'll just do that. Save all, save selected. We can go back to our town map, and I'll tell you, it was really super complicated to convert this over to work again. As a top-down nav mesh bounds 000 30 30. Nope, not big enough. 50 50. Screw it. 80 80. Well, screw you. 100 100. How about that? Oh no, dummy. Top-down game mode, play, and there was much rejoicing. So that's more Diablo-like. It's top-down. But I still think it'd be kind of cool to do a third-person view. And it's possible. It really is. Essentially, all you're going to do is you're changing your character from one character to the next. You can always change the camera view angle as well for our player, but you know, you walk between the tavern and the blacksmith, and then you came over this way, and then kind of worked your way around. You made your way over to the church, and you were able to click on that to actually go down to the thing. So it's a start. I had to start somewhere. So we're what, hour roughly into this, and we've got a character. We've got full top down control in the beginnings of the map. Materials looks like shit. Got the wrong kind of buildings. Whatever. It'll get there. So, guys, keep in touch on my Discord channel. If you're interested in a Diablo project, let me know more. You say, whenever it comes to these projects, I'll start them, and if there's not enough interest in it, then I stop with them. The Lunar project is not going to be a hurried up project right now, because there's a lot of things that's going to be going on in the background of that doesn't actually involve building the game. I'm actually not going to build the game myself. I'm going to do a lot of the prototyping and get the proof of concept stuff going. But I'm probably going to outsource that if I continue with production on it. I will outsource that to another development house and turn that into an actual professional project. So that's just more of a screwing around project right now, getting the background stuff done. But if you want to see the Diablo project continue, you guys got to let me know on Discord. If you want to see the golf project pick back up again, let me know, because I was having fun with that. Let me know. The Motor City Online project, if I don't have interest, I'm not going to keep doing them. So, let me know. Because here before too long, I'm going to be gutting this computer again. And I'm going to get rid of, I know you guys complain, you're still using Windows 7. Yes, I'm still using Windows 7, and I like it. It works for me. It does everything that I need it to do, and then some. But before the end of the year, I've got to change to Windows 10, whether I want to or not, because pretty much everybody on the planet's going to say that Windows 7 is no longer supported by anybody for anything. So people who make drivers, like for my NVIDIA 10 series video card, I may not be able to get drivers to work anymore for Windows 7. That would be kind of a big thing, because I'm running 3 32-inch panels, and I'd kind of like to be able to know that I can keep video going. So I'm going to have to switch to Windows 10 at some point before Windows 11 comes out. No, there's no such thing as Windows 11 that I know of yet. Maybe. So yeah, I'm going to have to go to Windows 10 whether I want to or not. It's going to screw up a lot of shit, and what I'm probably going to end up doing is nuking my entire C drive, which the only thing that's on C drive is all these, the main portions of the operating system, and it's a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it's full. I've got a 0.5 terabyte hard drive that's nothing but Unreal Engine 4 stuff, and some other games that got installed because C drive was filled. This one's getting full. I've got another 1 terabyte hard drive. I'm going to have to install that. So I'll have 2.5 terabytes of hard drive space. And hopefully I won't fill that up too damn soon. Something that I don't know of is clogging up my shit, and I haven't found it yet. But whenever I do it, I'm going to nuke my C drive, which is not going to affect too much on Unreal Engine 4 stuff. But I'm going to lose a few projects here and there. I've got some archived, but I don't think there's anything that's going to stay. I'm going to end up with a fresh install of Unreal Engine 4. I'm only going to install 420. I'm not going to install 422, 423, or whatever the current version is, because the plugins for my Simple Multiplayer Steam template that I use, the Advanced Sessions has not been updated correctly for 422 yet. So they're more focused on getting prepared for 423, so I'm not going to upgrade it until 423 bumps and the correct version is there. So for the meantime, all I'm going to be running is 420, which is what I'm running right now, is 420 for this project. So that's all I'm going to have installed. I'm not going to have the latest version installed. In fact, I may even go back to 4.17. I don't know. Because 4.17 was more stable than this shit is. There was things that worked in 4.20 that don't work in 4.22. There's things that worked in 4.17 that don't work in 4.20. Things that were changed. But I'm used to 4.20, so that's what I'm going to stick with, and that's what my simple multiplayer Steam template is going to work with. So if we do this, we'll do really quickly, and it's town with a capital T. We're going to go to widgets, main menu widget. Stop. Okay, thank you. Go to my graph, go into here. Town. And yeah. Town. Compost, save, close. Close. If I hit play, we're in our top-down mode. That's lovely. I can change that green crosshair if I want to, but I'll leave it for now. If I go to maps, main menu map, standalone game. So this is what it's looking like right now game-wise. If I were to compile this, pack it up, and spec it up, flip it, rub it down, I don't know, and I actually put it out there to where okay, you can download and play tonight's version of Diablo rebooted or whatever the hell. This is what it looks like. It looks like my simple multiplayer Steam template. I'm gonna hit single player, and hey, look, we're going to the map, and it just freaking locked up bigger than hell. There's one thing I do need to make sure of temporarily. Go into my characters folder, blueprints. I need to ensure that this goes in here. Top-down character. That's just my escape menu, so I can hit escape and go back to the main menu. Why did it stop having control? Try this one more time. Alright, so when it loads up, it comes up to the main menu. Single player, you go right into it. You can see you got full Steam functionality. Hit multiplayer, I'm going to host a game. I'm going to call it that and hit make, and it goes in. I'm not sure why it's stopping. I'm going to escape, go back to the main menu, single player, hit it one time, and then it stops navigating. Main menu, exit game. I'll look at that later. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Basically nothing right now. New Pi window. And it's working just fine. So why did it stop? Try it in standalone game. And it's working. So why did it not work whenever I went in from the main menu? No idea. But, you know, this is where we're at. And it will play full screen. So, it's working. We'll get there. Next video, like I said, we'll start bringing the NPCs. And we'll start looking at some other animations, some combat animations. But since we're, you know, like so, we know that our player is going to stop, do the animation, and then we can either keep attacking or whatever. So what we need to do is set it up to where if there's something on there, we're not going to walk towards it. We're actually going to perform the animation. So we'll start doing the attack animation stuff for our basic sword attacks, or our melee attacks, and we'll go from there. And our simple first target AI, which would be like the skeleton, the zombies, and shit like that. But yeah, we'll make some progress. Since you got an hour into this project, and we have a top-down game that we're starting to build the basics for. I could put a blocking volume in since we're doing it like this, and rubbling and rocks and stuff over here. So I may be able to clean that up on that side. I'll see if I can come up with some water for inside here, maybe. Because there's a quest where when you first start off, the well's brown. You come back later, it's blue. Yeah, I'll clean up the crosshair system, and so you don't have that cross, and you just have the little circle. I can change that over to where it's nothing but just a hand or a sword icon or whatever else. But one little thing at a time. This is just getting the basics, getting characters working, moving, that kind of stuff. I've got some different animations, but we could also bring in Mixamo animations as well. We'll see. I'm going to eat something and go to bed. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I should have eaten like 4 or 5, 6, 8 hours ago. But got tied up doing other stuff. Give me some love on Discord and let me know what you think about this project and whether or not it's going to look okay and what else we can do with it and that kind of stuff. So I are going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching. And like I said, this was part 1 of building it up to, hey, maybe make a Diablo tribute game. Who knows? We might even and throw a twist on there and just throw some humor in it. Keep thinking that would be a satirical game of like, when you go and talk to Griswold, what do you want now, you piece of shit? Or, whatever. Just add some humor to it. Make it a funny tribute game to Diablo with the ability to switch between going to a third-person mode. I think that'd be pretty cool. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. See you.